welcome to this video. My name is Taylor Bencher and we're going to go over family versus employees and why family always wins. So, look, if you want to scale your agency with absolute minimal effort, the easiest way you can do it is to get everybody that is not like you, everybody that's not the founder, all your employees, to care as much about the agency or the company as you do. And it's a very difficult, weird thing to do because in almost every case you see that there's a founder who cares so much about the company, and then there's employees who don't really care anywhere near as much as the founder does. But this video is designed to show you how to build a family where everybody cares as much as you about making sure that the company grows and that we can achieve the vision and the mission and achieve the goals of the company, okay? So, we're going to talk about the difference between family and employees, how you can actually, what you can do to actually build a family, and then first of all, we're going to define what I'm defining the term family to be. So I'm not defining family to be like blood. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm defining family to be a group of people who truly love and care about one another. Okay, so that's really different than, you know, people that have blood, that share blood. Okay, it's totally different. So a good example of this is like if you have 2 or 3 best friends that you grew up with or whatever that you've been friends with for, 25 years, you would consider them to be like family members, right? So it doesn't mean you need to share blood with them, but you truly love and care for them, right? That's what a family is. Everyone truly loves and cares for one another in this collective group. Now, I apologize if my mic has some background issue. I'm buying a new mic for the next video. This is my 3rd time recording this video because this mic has issues. So don't buy this mic. It's a DWise microphone on Amazon. I don't recommend it at all. But hopefully this thing works. Let's dive into this. So family cannot be separated from the family. So a family member, they cannot be separated from their family. Basically, if they truly love and care about those people and it really is a family, if they have 2 best friends, you can't separate them from them. They will never betray the family. They're willing to do anything for the family. The well-being of family members is of utmost importance to them, and they will not tolerate anyone or anything that gets in the way of the family or could potentially harm the family. So betraying the family means being kicked out forever. So it doesn't mean that, because you're my best friend and we're all best friends and we're family and we all truly care and love about one another, if you hurt me, that's fine, I'll just still love you. That's not what we're talking about here. If somebody betrays you, they're pretty much out of the family, like they're gone, right? That's it. So that's important. And then truly loves the family and can't imagine life without it, okay? So this is what you could expect a typical employee or somebody in a company that truly feels connected with everybody else in the company to tell you, right? They would tell you things like this, like, I couldn't imagine my life without this company and all the people in it. They're amazing. Like, I truly love working with them. I would never betray them. I'd be willing to do anything for them. I consider them like family members. I don't tolerate anyone, harming anyone else within the family. And, if someone betrays me or someone else in the family, they should be kicked out because we can't tolerate that. Like if it was truly betrayal and it was on purpose, etc. That's what you would want your employees to tell you if someone came in and interviewed them and asked them, hey, tell me about the people that you work with in the company. What do you feel? How do you feel when you work here? If they tell the person that's how you know you've built something special. But in most cases, it's not this. In most cases, it's this, where you hire an employee and they're okay with leaving the family / the organization or the agency, right? They may even betray the family or, the organization for personal gain. This happens a lot, where somebody will come into a company, they'll get a big idea, and they'll steal some intellectual property, and they'll leave and they'll start their own company, and that happens a lot. And they're not willing to go the extra mile. So if it's like a Saturday night and the client has a huge problem that comes up and messages, your account executive or something, and it's a Saturday night and, the account executive is about to go hang out with some friends and they know that, it's the weekend, I don't have to work, so I'll just handle this on Monday. The client can wait, even if it's like an emergency, right? somebody who's an employee, that's going to be their mindset. They're going to say, I'll just wait till Monday. But somebody who feels like they're part of a family, if a client has an emergency, they're going to just stop whatever they're doing and they're going to handle it regardless if it's like a Saturday night. And that's what like a true family member would do, right? Is they feel like if they didn't handle that situation immediately because it's an emergency, they may betray the family, they may hurt the family because maybe the client will leave and that'll hurt the company or the family, quote unquote. So that's the difference between these two is really just that's a very clear difference. And I was just talking to somebody in our program who said that one of their team members' family member died or was in the hospital for illness, and so he or she quit. So imagine this, like you have an employee and that employee's mom or dad gets really sick and they go in the hospital and the employee tells you, hey, I'm out of here, like my mom's sick, I'm gone. That's an employee, right? That's somebody who they don't really care that much about the company because they just left. That means they don't really care about your company and they should have gone in the first place. So that's a good thing that they left. But if you truly have a family, what would happen in that scenario is your employee whose mom or dad got sick and is in the hospital would tell you, hey, look, my mom is sick. She's in the hospital. She's going through some crazy surgery. I want to be there for her. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my laptop. I'm going to sit in the room with her. I'm going to work there with her. But I might be on and off periodically, but I'm going to make sure that I stay in touch with the clients. And if anything, emergency comes up, I'll have my laptop. I'll be there. I'll try to make this thing work, right? That's like a true family member / person that really cannot imagine their life without that company and that organization and the family. They're going to make it work no matter what happens, right? And so that's another clear example. And that actually happened within our agency with one of our account executives, which is really cool. I remember that. I think it was actually a year and a half ago or something like that. So tolerate suffering of other team members. This is a typical employee. Bureaucracy, you have this all the time in large corporations where somebody might be suffering, but and this one person doesn't want to help them even though they could, because if this person is suffering and they get fired, that means this person might take over their job and make more money, and so they'll gain more. And this is what you see with bureaucracy and a typical employee. If it's a family member, it doesn't matter how much suffering the person's going through and whether or not they can benefit from it if the person is kicked out or not. They're going to help that person get through whatever it is that they're going through, whether it's personal or professional, it doesn't matter, okay? Both sides of this. And by the way, family members, when you build a company, it's a family, it's not just about professional, it actually intertwines with personal life and professional life. A little bit more difficult when you're running a digital agency because people aren't really shoulder to shoulder, they're digital, so the bond can only go so far, but we'll get to that in a second. So they may betray the family, we talked about that, and they have plans to leave the family, we already talked about that a little bit as well. So very, very clear polar opposites. We have black and we have white, and most people have this. They do not have this. Some people have one or two employees that are like that, and the rest of the company's like this, but very few people have a company where everybody truly feels like they're part of a collective family. And it's in my opinion, it's a pretty difficult thing to do. It's a never-ending process. You can never perfect it because a bond can always be deepened. It can always be strengthened. So with that being said, now let's get into more of the how-to in terms of how you can actually go about building this family within your agency. Before we do that, let's just talk about the initial conditions as set by the founder, because you need to understand that if you want your employees and your team members to care as much about the company as you do, and you want them to be honest, you want them to have high integrity, you want them to work hard, you need to do all those things. You need to be the example for your people that you're hiring within that company. If you are expecting extreme hard work out of your team members, and you only work 30 hours a week, you're fucked. I mean, like, for lack of a better word, seriously, like, it's just like, they're not gonna work that hard. If you're working 25 hours a week, you should expect your employees to work 25 hours per week. If you are dishonest with your employees, you should expect your employees to be dishonest with you. If you are, if you don't treat them well, you should expect them to not treat you well. If you're willing to betray one of them, you should expect one of them to be willing to betray you. So you're the mirror in your company, okay? And it's like that because you set the initial conditions. You were the founder. Now, typically what happens is in the early stages, you as the founder, when your team is between 5 to 10 people, a lot of people look up to you because you started this thing, right? You were the one who actually created this thing. So they look up to you, which means that if you're a bad example, they're going to be a bad example for people that are below them. And this is what happens when you're a founder and you hire somebody that's not that great. Let's call this person like a B on the grade scale. And then the B goes out and they hire someone, but they hire a C, and then the C hires a D, and then your whole company is destroyed and you have intense team debt. If you don't know what team debt is, you should go watch one of the previous videos. Team debt is insane, and it's a real thing, and it costed me a lot of wasted time and money because of it, because of hiring the wrong people. So the point is that if you really want to build this thing that is like a family, where everybody truly loves and cares about one another, you need to truly love and care about your employees, and you need to take care of them and do that to the best of your ability with the resources that you have. Early on, when the company's not making a lot of money, you may not be able to provide dental benefits and health benefits and paid vacations and all these amazing perks and company retreats and gifts and all this crazy stuff. But you know what? You can at least show that you're willing to put a foot forward with the resources that you have and provide some form of perks. Now again, that's what we're doing in our agency. We'll get to that in just a second. But the point is that you're the mirror, and don't expect from people what you're not willing to expect from yourself, and what you're not willing to do from yourself. Okay, that's a really important thing. The initial conditions are set by you. If they're set poorly, expect everything else to just be destroyed and turn into chaos. Now let's get into the specific how-to. So we have, again, a leader who never wavers. This is really important because really, to build a company, period, you need to have a leader that is calm in extreme adversity, right? Like, let's say everything is going wrong. There's chaos everywhere throughout the company for some reason. This leader cannot be shaken. He cannot be, he doesn't waver. He's not nervous. He's calm, cool, and collected in front of everyone, okay? He may be nervous as hell deep inside, but he never shows it. And that's important because it builds confidence in everybody else, and it allows everybody else to chill out and focus and get the job done and fix whatever the chaos is, and rise up and take the company through that rut and become a leader in the space and dominate their category or their whatever it is. So a leader who never wavers is really important. You need a leader in the company because, like I said, the leader is the person who sets the initial conditions. It does not mean that everybody needs to look up to you. Ideally, what happens is you develop leaders within your company, okay, in certain departments or categories. So right now we just have two account executives, and I would consider one of them, who she's been with us for about a year and a half, I would consider her definitely to be a leader now. But when she started out, she wasn't a leader, right? Like, she was working with me, I was trying to train her, I was trying to give her advice on what she can do. It's still like that, but it's gotten to the point where I truly believe in her abilities to lead someone else now, because she's been with us for about a year. So developing other leaders is also important. It shouldn't just be about you, but constant growth and learning is also really important. If you're not challenging your team members with something that really turns their mind around and gets them engaged, then they're probably going to leave you. If they're doing monotonous, tedious work every single day that isn't that challenging, they're not learning a whole lot, they're not growing a whole lot, they're probably going to leave you. So constant growth and learning is important. Potential to be an owner. This is a good one that I like, and you don't have to do this one, but I like it. I make sure everybody's aware that, hey, look, one day, it doesn't matter. It could be like 12 months from now. It could be 5 years. It could be 10 years from now. I don't care. But the point is if you show a ridiculous amount of value to this company, I have no problem with you becoming a partner and having actual equity in this company. I'm totally fine with that. So I make that very clear. I would not tell anybody in your company that if you're not serious about doing it. I'm very serious about doing it because I'm thinking long term, like 50, 100 years into the future, and that's just me. But I recommend this one. It is a good one if you're willing to do it. Tap dance to work. If you can build an environment where people feel excited to wake up and work in the morning, that's great, okay? That is really important. Warren Buffett talks about how he tap dances to work. He's excited to work every single day, and he loves it. He wouldn't have it any other way. If you can build an environment like that, that is going to create huge stickiness and bonding between the family members because everybody loves what they're doing. If everybody loves what they're doing, everybody's generally going to be pretty happy. It doesn't mean that there's going to be no stress. Obviously, there's going to be stress. Obviously, there's going to be times of doubt and times of feeling like, oh my God, this is very difficult, this is really hard, and there's going to be challenges, but that's really the stuff that pushes you and grows you, right? It doesn't mean it's just going to be this blissful experience of like no pain. There's definitely going to be pain, but you enjoy it, okay? Shared mission or vision, this is important. It's not just about making money. It's like, hey, let's have a greater mission or goal here other than just making a lot of money. Extremely selective about new family members. So this is basically new employees, new people that you hire. If you're trying to really build a family, this means that you're going to be very selective about people that you allow into the family, because one wrong person can cause a lot of problems and can destroy the whole family if you have one wrong person in there. Again, this comes down to here, right? If you have this is you and then you hire a B, somebody that's a B and not like an A+ all-star, this B might hire a C and the C might hire a D, and then everything's ruined and it's completely terrible. So if you hire an A and this A hires an A, but this A accidentally hires a B, then this B will hire a C, and it just again, you have to be very, very careful and heavily vet everybody that is allowed into the company, because it could be make or break the family, and you do not want team debt. Like I said earlier, team debt is this invisible thing that very few people really even see or recognize, that costs you a ridiculous amount of money, a lot more than the salary that you pay someone, and it lasts for a long time. It takes a long time to pay off, especially if you have multiple people that are bad. So generous compensation is important. You need to make sure that these people within your company can live a quality lifestyle. That's just important, period. Safe, drama-free environments. You don't want people to feel like they're about to get fired 24/7 and they can't chill out. You want to have a safe environment that's drama-free, no bureaucracy, etc. Bonding outside of work. This is really important if you're trying to build a family. Unfortunately, in our agency right now, we're fully digital, we're fully remote, which means that I haven't even seen or met any of my team members in my company for years. And it doesn't mean that I don't know them. I mean, we do video calls all the time, but I haven't truly in the flesh seen or met anybody, which is very weird. And not really weird, but just it's difficult to truly bond with somebody if you've never really met with them in person, etc. So bonding outside of work and within work is a really good way to create more of a family vibe. And that's why we're considering definitely in the future, centralizing into an office where everybody can be, shoulder to shoulder working together, so that it'll create more of a family culture. And then company retreats. So this is what we're about to start incorporating, is retreats, so that everybody can actually meet up together and we can actually bond together, not just in work but outside of work as well, which is going to be really important. So these are all the things that I listed out, the traits in terms of how to build an actual family. This is very important. Initial conditions that are set by the founder. You are the mirror. Don't forget that. If you're working 30 hours a week, if you're dishonest, if you're willing to screw over employees, expect all of those same things to happen to you. Okay? You cannot be, you cannot expect others to be something that you aren't yourself, right? So, with all that being said, I hope this helps you scale your agency or your company, whatever it is that you're running. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos, just feel free to hit that subscribe button below. Comment, let me know your thoughts on this. I post a video once a week every Monday, and I'm going to get a better mic for all the videos moving forward. Some people have actually told me that this mic's a bit weird. I need to get a better one. So anyways, thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.